Okay, I'm here at the beginning of Mortuary. Before I tell you what you can expect on this trail, I'm going to tell you how you get here is important. So I think it's Boneyard Link, which I've only done once before, and I did a video on it. It's not a fun trail. And so I went from like 16th and Scenic, like way over there on the other side of the cemetery, and did Boneyard Link. So on my Strava and Trail Forks, which are in the links, or the links to that are in the description of the video, don't follow that route. I would advise you not to. I'll tell you why in a second. I would come this way, which is like more north, by like when you're going scenic south, in between the dog park is over there past these trees, scenic dog park. And when you get to like the main cemetery entrance, there's a trail that you can follow pretty easily that just stays along the top. I would just follow that here. That's not really that much fun either, but it is much quicker and safer. Doing Boneyard Link all the way from over there, I just hadn't done it in a long time, and I was down here the other day, and I did this one, and I did whatever. So I was like, I'll just do that one, whatever. It can't be that bad. Like, I don't remember being that bad, but I haven't done it because it sucks. I don't like it. There's a lot of hazards. I wouldn't even call them features. There's just like poor visibility with a lot of long grass because not many people ride it. It gets really tight in between exposure and then the chain link fence, which is easy to catch your handlebars on. There's some weird sections of like tree roots on some dips where there's exposure and pedal catchers, and just like, it's kind of a mess. It's not fun, takes longer, and is hazardous. So I just wouldn't do it. I mean, there's a lot of trails that are hazardous, but they're fun and like whatever. This is just putting you in harm's way for no reason, is what I would say. So I would say approach from the direction of it's the more north side of the cemetery, the legit entrance to the cemetery, the main one. Okay, now tell you about Mortuary for a bit. So I did this for the first time the other day. It is a blue, and I think it's a pretty mid-range blue, maybe even on the lighter side. But it has like, I think from my memory, it has like 2 descents. They're not that crazy or steep. I think if you've ever done a blue descent, you should be fine. Not that bumpy or rocky or anything, not that long, not that steep. But there are some drops on here. However, it's like the first trail I've come upon where I'm like, oh, these are like baby drops that even I can do. I didn't do them that day, and like my recording just didn't work out. So hopefully this one does. But they're like curbs. They're just like street curbs. So I've said many times before, I'm really uncomfortable with drops and jumps. I want to get better at them. On this trail, it's like, I think there's 3 to 4, and they're kind of in a row. You can go around them. You can go around them. Then you're getting into some tall grass and stuff, so visibility again is poor. You don't know like if there's like a dip or something there. I went around them the first time. This time I'm going to try to not go around them. I hope I don't spook myself. I spooked myself the first time because I just wasn't familiar with them, and I was like, oh, how small is that? I can't really tell, and I'm not confident with my ability anyway to just hop right off them. So anyway, this takes you down, and it connects with, I don't remember the name of the trail now. I need to look it up, and I'll put it in the text here, cemetery something or other, to finish off to get down by the country club. So it is quick and easy. There's other trails in this area that are longer, that are more adventurous, more fun, more features. But this is one that is a quick descent down there, has some drops. If you want to practice drops and like me, you can't do much more than like a curb without getting anxious or scared, or just ability-wise you're not skilled enough or whatever, in your own head too much, this might be a good place for you. I'm going to try them today. I hope I don't, spook myself out of it. But let's get it. Drop number 1, and I was not ready for it. I guess you can go over too. And there's drop number 2, and I'm not ready for that either. Oh my goodness. Here's a bump. There's drop 3. And here's drop 4. Okay, so Talk about that later.
Oh, let's talk about that quick.
So, there's 4 drops. There is also a detour to the right, so you don't have to take those drops. I don't know if I'll try the detour ever, because I would like to do this again with the chest cam and be better prepared for those drops. The first 2, they get like smaller and smaller each time. The first 2 are, I still think they're maybe a little taller than a curb, but just the entry into them, I was like, oh goodness. And like, just the way that they just looked scarier than they probably were. And I didn't do them. I went around them, which you could just do, right? I did try the last 2, and I'm realizing, this is a good thing that I'm realizing there's one thing about these drops that I'm not ready for, not prepared for, is that if I'm going downhill and I'm braking, I don't want to do a drop while my fingers are on the brakes, right? While they're ready to brake or very lightly braking. So I want full hands, all fingers on deck on my grips instead. But if you're going too fast, like that's a skill or a thing to think about that I never really thought of before. So anyway, I did the last 2. They were fine. I'm a chicken when it comes to drops, so they were completely fine for me. And you could just take them like you would off a curb. If you don't want to just like drop off a curb, you could just like one wheel down, other wheel down comes after you. No big deal on those last 2. The first 2, if you try that, it might be a little bumpier. I would definitely approach those a little more speed. I wasn't ready for that first one at all. But yeah, I did forget. There's a little bit of a climb there, but it's pretty easy. But it's good for doing some practicing on trail climbs. It is a blue, like I said, it's a blue trail. But it's pretty, as far as blue trails go, I think it still is mid to lighter, like in comparison to other blue trails we have here. Blue trails are so hard to categorize when you've got blue trails like 6 Mile, and then you've got that. And it's like, this is definitely on the lighter side, and I think 6 Mile is on the darker side or the deeper end of blue. Anyway, trying to think of what else I can say about that. I think that's everything. It's just a nice little descent. I like it though. And yeah, with that, we'll see you in another time for another raw ride.